Hello and welcome back to the channel Say What's Real TV. This review is for Tyler Perry's Sistas, Season 5, Episode 2, My Boyfriend's Back. So we open up the episode with Preston and Danny. They're in the airport still going back and forth about him giving her this ultimatum about whether he's going to go back home and marry some ex-girlfriend or stay if she wants him to stay. Like, Preston, nobody does that. If you want to take your ass back home and marry this chick, take your ass on. You don't give nobody that kind of ultimatum. That's some bullshit. Toodles. Bye. Haul ass. You all right, Preston and all, but you coming in somebody's face with that kind of ultimatum, you got to go. So I'm going to holler at you another time. So he ends up telling her, you know, she's always doing this and that, and she's trying to tell him, look, I'm at work and you stressing me out, basically, with all this foolishness. You stressing me out. So he ends up leaving. She gets all emotional, but Danny, I'm going to need you to drop a few tears, you know, make that thing a little more realistic for me the next time. You know, you dabbing all at the eye. I need some tears to be flowing, girl. So the guy from last week with the baby mama or the ex-wife, whatever the hell she is, he comes over to try to comfort Danny and gives her some kind of tissue or something. And he tries to comfort her and talks to her a little bit, and he ends up giving her his phone number. Danny accepts the number, and I'm kind of here for that because Danny needs something new, a new storyline, something fresh. Maybe we can take this in a different direction to where we can have her see some growth with Danny, and, you know, but we know she's going to have some problems with that baby mama, but, you know, that'll be a little something we can deal with, but, you know, I'm here for that. So over at the hospital, we got Karen and Lisa, her mom. They're trying to figure out what's going on because Karen's literally been in there all day taking all these different tests, and no doctor has come in to tell her what's going on with you know, the baby or whatever. So Lisa's going to go out and try to find the doctor so they can get some information. But I want to know why the hell, if Karen hurting so bad and all this bleeding going on, why isn't she laying back relaxed in the bed? They've literally had her for 2 days, well, 2 episodes, which, you know, probably ain't but 5 minutes, sitting on the edge of the damn bed. When Lisa gets out in the hallway, she runs into Pam crazy ass. So Pam telling her all kind of stuff she ain't got no business telling her because, you know, she claims she don't be telling nobody business, but all the while telling the business. So she like, you asked the question, so she just telling her. So she ends up going in, Pam ends up going inside to talk to Karen as Lisa goes on to get the doctor. So Karen asked Pam, did she call anybody? And she was like, no. But she does tell her that Andy and Aaron came by the salon when she was there, but she didn't give them any information. So Karen basically told her she could go ahead and call them, but don't make it seem like she wanted her to call. We head over to Zach and Fatima's. They're on the sofa chilling. Zach over there rubbing Fatima's feet because he think he about to get some cooch. They over there minding their business. Here comes Pam calling Zach's phone. Now, I don't remember Karen saying call Zach. I didn't hear that. I might have missed that because I thought she was supposed to be calling Aaron and Andy, not Zach. But anyway, Zach answered, and he's like, she tells him that Karen's in the hospital, and he was like a little concerned at first, but then he's like, you know, okay, y'all there, you know, you there with her, like, she trying to get Zach to come to the hospital, and Zach is like, you're over there, you don't need me, you know, call the preacher man. And she's basically, I don't know why they're so focused just like on Zach. I wonder if this really gonna be his baby, because if it's gonna be his child, I'm gonna be really upset. Like, just to keep dealing with that same little storyline is just annoying. But anyway, Pam and Zach go back and forth, and Fatima is looking like, well, what's going on? And this and that and the other. And Zach hangs up with Pam, and Fatima seemed to me genuinely concerned from what she did here, as if maybe something could be wrong with Karen or the baby. I didn't really feel like she was upset about anything. I mean, it is what it is. If you're going to be mature about it, you're going to accept the fact that he does have a possible child on the way, then you know what may or may not come with it. But that other fool Allah I get, but when it comes to somebody being in danger, I don't think nobody really automatically wants Karen to be hurt in that kind of way. So that's what I got from Fatima, that she was kind of concerned, and I think she felt that maybe Zach should have been a little more concerned. So she was like, well, don't you think you want to go? I mean, shouldn't you go? That's how I took it. But I mean, Zach kept saying, no, I'm going to stay here with you. I want to be here with you. We're going to set these boundaries. But I mean, you're talking about something could be wrong with the child. So I don't know. So they got over that part, and then we hear this blast of music next door. Of course, now we have Deja is in Sisters now. Zach calls Deja on the phone, and this is where you can see the attitude rise in Fatima, because Zach is going on and on like, Deja, turn the music down, and Deja's so flirty and hyper and all that all the damn time. So she must have said something about, do you want me to come over, or some mess she must have said. Anyway, Fatima ended up snatching the damn phone and told her ass in the phone, turn that goddamn music down. And baby, you heard that music go off. I bet you heard that damn music. It was crickets up in that bitch. So Gary calls Andy because he's trying to get over there to her apartment later on, and she tells him that under one condition, if they can both write out these lists of the good and bad traits that the other person has, because she saw it on some movie she watched before. And he's like, yes, but of course he's going to say yeah to any goddamn thing so he can get his ass over there. So anyway, she tells him she has to get off the phone because her line is clicking. We see that it's Danny calling her. Danny is worried about her friend. She hasn't heard from Sabrina all day. She's asking Andy, has she heard from her? Andy is like, no. Then Andy is like, well, have you heard from Karen? And Danny told her no. So they haven't heard from neither of the friends all day. Danny tells Andy that a friend of hers said that Sabrina could possibly is being investigated for the bank robbery at her job. And Andy was like kind of dismissive of it, like, no, not Sabrina, nah, she'll be fine type of bullshit. And Danny was like, well, I'm going to go over there to Maurice's house. So Andy tells her, don't do that. That wouldn't be a good idea. And I was trying to figure out, well, why not? Like, what was the big deal about that? Like, why wouldn't that be a good idea? So anyway, Danny was like, whatever. So it seemed to me like Danny was more worried about the friends than anybody, because all Andy wanted to do was get over there the Gary raggedy ass. So Pam is sitting outside of Karen's room, and here comes Aaron. Ugh. She's like, wait a minute, who called you? Did Zach call you? Like, why are you here? And he's like, where is she? Where is she? She said, you like Snoop and find out. Go over there and find out. So he actually finds the direction of the room. She was like, oh, and you knew which damn went in the right direction to get to the room. So he goes in there, and Karen sees him, and she was like, oh, Lord, like, damn, like, what the hell you doing here, bugaboo? So he's like, are you all right? She was like, did Zach call you? No, she said, did Pam call you? He was like, no, Pam didn't call. It wasn't Pam. So he was like, how are you? He keeps saying, how are you? She's like, I'm fine. How did you know I was here? Oh, it doesn't matter. She said, how did you know I was here? So they're going back and forth. How do you know I was here? Was it Zach? Oh, no, Zach wouldn't do that. And he will not tell. He like, no, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I got a text. Well, who texted you? Because nobody knows I'm here. He will not say who it was. I want to know who it was. We all, Aaron, would like to know who it was. I mean, come on now. How did you know that? Did you follow Pam? Did you put a tracker on Pam? How did you know where she was at? Because that's the only way you would have known, following Pam. So anyway, she Karen says, well, it had to be Fatima if it wasn't Zach, because she has somebody's number and Andy's number, and must have got it from Andy. So she proceeds to either call Zach's phone, and Zach, they over there watching a movie, having a good time, minding their business, chilling like villains. So Zach trying to ignore the phone. Fatima like, answer it, it could be an emergency. So she ends up putting the answering the phone for him, but putting it on speakerphone. So here go Karen. You tell your bit. No, she said Fatima. And Fatima was like, yes. She was like, I don't appreciate you calling all around, telling my business, telling people I'm in the hospital. And Zach is like, she didn't call nobody. She was like, oh, and you didn't even bother to say how I was doing. You motherfucker, you tell your bitch to mind her business. And Fatima like, oh, so I'm a bitch again? And I'm like, see, I cannot wait for this chick to have this baby. You hear me? I want this chick to have this baby, because all these bitches and all this every 5 minutes when she get a feeling in her feelings about something, no one can't nobody hit her because she pregnant. So Fatima keeps her cool. I'm quite surprised. She keeps her cool. So Karen going back and forth with Zach, still worried about Zach not caring a goddamn about her ass, and all the while Aaron with his dumb ass standing there looking at her like, really, Karen? Like, I'm standing right here caring about your ass, and you worrying about if Zach caring about you. He's so damn stupid. So anyway, Zach ends up hanging up with her, and he tells Fatima, I told you to answer the phone, but now Fatima and her fucking feelings, because now you letting these hoes try me. You need to tighten up and straighten that shit, because you letting these hoes try me. I know that's right, Fatima. Get his ass. Zach think we finna go back to playing with defeat and watching movies. Fatima like, I ain't got time for this. You need to check them hoes, and I'm going to bed. She left Zach on the sofa fighting the pillows and talking to his goddamn self, mad as hell at himself. So Karen yelling at Aaron, telling him he doesn't want her to be there. And her mom comes back in, and Aaron acting like he finna get somebody on his side. He talks like, hey, I'm Aaron. She was like, I remember who you are. I had a haircut, not a lobotomy. So they end up putting his ass out, because Lisa told him, you running my daughter blood pressure up. You got to go. So then we get this long, drawn-out scene with Andy and Gary. And basically, they talk about the little list. Of course, hers got about 30 negative traits of his. He probably wrote 2 or 3 things on his list. She tells him that she's going to give back the car and call the realtor or something tomorrow so he can get all his shit back. And they just back and forth with that kind of mess about him trying to sue her, pretending like he was finna sue her and all that foolishness. Child, basically all it boiled down to was both of them wanted some sex. She pretended like she wanted him to go. He knew she didn't want him to go, and he started getting undressed. Next thing you know, he had his face all up in the place. So the doctor finally comes in and tells Karen that there's nothing wrong with the baby. Everything's fine. Her iron is a little low, and her blood pressure looks like it was raised a little bit. We know that's because she over there hollering and screaming to Fatima and Zach, and mad about looking at Aaron's crazy face, and basically let her know that she needs to be put on bed rest. Karen looked shocked and appalled, like, bed rest? As if, you know, like you got something else to do, because they ain't like you finna be standing on your feet working, because you wasn't working in the first place. So, yeah, girl, bed rest. Lisa says she got her. She'll take care of him. Then we go over there back to Zach and Fatima. They still over there, Zach over there still trying to get some cooch from Fatima. And Fatima like, man, I'm finna go to bed. He was like, what, you want me to go to the hospital to check them? And she was like, well, yeah. He said, I don't care what you do. You know, you need to be checking these chicks. So Fatima like, I'm going to bed. Like, I don't have the time. She gets in the bed, turn the light off on his ass. Zach like, oh, he started hollering and screaming. He done got hot now. He like, oh, I know you playing with me because you done got in the bed with a full face of makeup and your wig on. You ain't even wrap the bitch up. And you could tell Fatima actually laughed in the bed because he probably just said that just off the top of his head, because you could see her kind of laughing under the cover or whatever. So he hollering and screaming, y'all think this funny? When I get to the hospital, y'all gonna have to see me type shit. He like, if I have to go down here, I'm reading everybody. So he just stomping all over the house, putting his shoes on. He fire hot. He is fire hot. He can't get no sex. Fatima mad now. He is mad. So he calls Pam, and Pam tells him that the chick not even at the hospital no more. She done went home. So then we go over, we see Danny done went over there to Maurice's house anyway, and Calvin is there, and nobody's heard from Maurice. So she tells him to call Maurice's phone, and Maurice got this crazy behind voice message that keeps coming on. So nobody's heard from Maurice either. So now they both looking like, oh shoot, So Calvin gets Danny's phone number and put her number in his phone, and he ends up telling her, I'll give you a call if I hear anything. So Zach goes over there to Karen's house, and Lisa comes to the door and basically tells Zach Karen is put on bed rest and he's not going to be able to talk to her, but she does want to know what he wants. And he's telling her, look, I got a lady and I just want to talk to her. For some reason, she's not understanding that I've moved on, and I don't appreciate her calling my lady bitches and all this and that. And Lisa is like, well, is she a bitch? And I mean, Zach is like, no. And then he was like, well, if the baby is mine, and the mama like something, she said, oh, you on this baby train too. So she gonna tell Zach some mess about, oh, so you're doing well, so if the baby is yours, then she gonna be doing well. I'm like, what? I say, see these? I said, unbelievable. So anyway, Zach should have stayed his ass home and just took a bath and went to bed. I don't even know why he wasted his time with that. So he leaves from over there, and then we go back over to Andy's house where she over there getting down with Gary, and here comes Danny off the elevator, and and just stops all of that. Then they looking all shocked and appalled, and Gary gets up, grab all his stuff, and runs to the bathroom. And then that ends the episode.